Hello friends, this is the Auto XXL channel, and today you know about this. Maserati has revealed some details about the new generation of flagship quads. Audi unexpectedly introduced the new Q8. Maserati has revealed some details about the new generation of the flagship Quattroporte. The Italian company is working on the 7th generation of its flagship sedan in everything and plans to introduce it in 2024. True, I have bad news for you, the new Quattroporte will move to electric traction and will be offered exclusively as an electric vehicle, which means that we do not see any internal combustion of the engine under the hood of the new generation. There is good news, the novelty will be based on the platform of the new grandiose tourism and also get a T-shaped appearance and a longer and more concise body so that the rear passengers do not seem cramped. After all, the Quattroporte is a completely different class of cars and the requirements there are completely different. The novelty also receives exactly the same twin-engine power plant as the Gran Turismo. However, you can de-force in search of the same Gran Turismo, where the same power plant produces 761 horsepower and 1,350 Newton-meters of torque. A luxury sedan doesn't have that kind of power, incredibly important comfort. Exactly the same part will befall the flagship crossover Maserati Levante. It will be updated in 2024 and will be changed to electric motors. ICE will not be available to him either. All these permutations are part of the Italian brand's plan to electrify the lineup. The same story also contains the refusal to produce the Junior Maserati Ghibli sedan, which will end its operations in 2024, and the company will cease its production to focus on the more profitable crossover segment. Admit such news is not very encouraging. But what to fake? The market dictates its own conditions, which must be considered. Audi unexpectedly introduced the updated flagship crossover Audi e-tron, which for some reason changed its name with the update and is now called the Audi Q8 e-tron, and henceforth it should be perceived as an electric alternative to the petrol Q8. The story is a little confusing, and in general such rearrangements are made by a change of generations, but Audi decided to carry out such a rebranding at the stage of a planned update, which brings even more confusion to the current situation. But here the German manufacturer can be justified. Since time is supported and the company wants to switch to the production of exclusively electric vehicles as quickly as possible, this is why there is such a rush. Besides, e-tron does not fit into the general logic of the name of the model range of the German company, and it was decided to rename it in order to remove unnecessary confusion in the future, which probably arose among the company's customers. Novelty is before offered in two body styles. This is a classic station wagon and a coupe-like version of the Sportback. Both bodies retained the proportions of the pre-style, but still received some changes in appearance. We are talking about a new grille, a more massive front bumper with large air ducts, and a light redesigned front and rear lighting that adds a certain aggressiveness to the car. Separately, I would like to note the fact that all these changes also carry a useful aerodynamic load. Thus the company managed to achieve a reduction in the coefficient of aerodynamic drag. SUVN was 0.28. And for the Sportback, this figure dropped from 0.26 to 0.24. All this is possible thanks to the self-sealing system around the grille, which works in combination with electric blinds. This had a positive effect on the power reserve, which I will talk about a little later, but now let's look at the interior. It has not changed much here. With the exception of some details and new finishes, everything else has remained the same. The concept still consists of three displays. One is responsible for accessing the multimedia functions of the car, the second is necessary for quick access to the air conditioning system and setting the front seats, and the third acts as a dashboard. As before, the car is offered with a choice of 3 power plants. It all starts with the basic modification of the Audi Q8 50 e-tron. For those who choose this modification, there are several nice bonuses at once. Firstly, it has increased power by as much as 27 horsepower and 104 Nm of torque, and now this version produces 340 horsepower and 664 Nm of torque and is able to develop maximum speed at 200 km/h. Secondly, the battery has become larger and its capacity is now 89 kilowatts/h, which is 20 kilowatts/h more than it was before. With improved aerodynamics, the base Q8 is able to drive an average of 500 kilometers, which is much more than it was before, and before it was 341 kilometers. The intermediate twin-engine modification Q8 55 e-tron, alas, did not receive any increase in power and produces the same 48